the culture of the people, the processes they adopt, the technology experience, and few other areas. So, in the next two slides, let us look at each of these categories briefly. Let's start with the strategy of the company. It is important to understand the strategy of the company you are choosing. What is their focus, the historical growth, and operations in testing space, their capacity and capability, their operational excellence, the market penetration they have. Now again, market penetration can be looked at geographically or industry-wise. So understand what their market penetration is. Understand the domain and business knowledge they possess. The technical innovation. What is their value add to the table? What are their key differentiators from the competitors? How do they position themselves in the market? Well, while you ask all these questions, please validate the responses thoroughly. It is always trust but verify. Ask open-ended questions. So for whatever the responses you get, please ask for quantifiable numbers substantiating their responses. So trusting is always good, but a thorough verification keeps you safe. Now, in addition to the strategy of the company, it is recommended to understand the people, the cultural challenges to integrate, their capability to integrate globally. Communication is obviously a key differentiator. If you are engaging with a foreign country, it is important to understand if they possess fluency in your language. The project management skills are an essential factor that drives engagements towards success. So understand what kind of processes do they follow. What kind of governance and engagement models do they adopt? What are their capabilities and maturity levels as a company? Look for the industry standard accreditations and certifications like CMM, CMMI and all. Check what kind of metrics and benchmarkings do they collect and observe with respect to quality. You will find a lot of companies which have benchmarks collected for the entire SDLC, but only very few companies can provide you hardcore metrics or standards related to quality and testing. Also, do check for their flexibility on aligning to your business processes. The test data production and privacy is an important factor to check, and if not taken care, this might pose a threat to your core business functions. So definitely understand what kind of procedures they have in place to protect the test data from unauthorized usage. Tools. What kind of expertise and exposure do they have? Check if your vendor has expertise on the tools or the products you have already paid licenses for. Well, a very simple example is if you have invested in Mercury, then you don't want to have a vendor who has rational expertise. So check what kind of expertise the vendor has and does it meet your needs. Now check also if your vendor has any partnership alliances. The advantage of having these alliances is you can leverage those relations to get better deals when you want to use the product. Also understand the IP built by these vendors around their COE and frameworks, because it might be a key to determine their value addition to this engagement. Do definitely understand the spread of vendor in the open source community. Adoption of open source tools is a key differentiator to reduce your operational costs. When you choose a foreign country, you also want to understand the immigration, taxes, and the labor laws which might impact your engagement. Well, the immigration laws will affect their ability to ramp up resources in the location you require. An example to understand this better. A vendor whom you are evaluating might state that they have 5,000 employees across the globe, and they might show a picture of what their locations where they operate. But then the question remains, or the question you want to ask is, what is their ability to ramp up in each of these locations? This vastly affects the need in addressing the intermediate spikes of your business needs. So definitely do understand and check all these factors when you choose your outsourcing provider. Let's move on. It is good to know what the vendor can do and their capabilities are, but at the same time, it is very important to understand if that aligns to your business needs. The check for alignment is very much needed for a successful engagement. So, check if your vendor has a track record with your type of testing. What do we mean by your type of testing? Let us take an example. If you are a technology company and the product you have developed follows agile development methodologies, and the time to market situation for you that you need to have builds or rollouts, let's say every week, every month, or every day. It might vary based on what your needs are. So testing these kind of applications need significant technical expertise and proficiency in understanding the agile processes, and also it involves having a depth in automation. So understand their ability to provide the right solution for you. If the company motto or motive or their practice has been to do more manual testing, that may not suit your needs given the situation. Also, understand the vendor ability to provide a complete solution to your testing needs, which does not limit just to a functional, manual, or automation testing. You want to understand if they have experience in other areas like performance, security, certifications, and so on. This experience will help you to elucidate or to see the missing parts of your testing and automatically address the quality of the product. Check for the experience of the vendor with the companies like you. So check if they have dealt with your company in terms of whether you are a product-based company, an enterprise, or ISV. Check for similar experiences from your vendor. Ask for references. Domain expertise matters a lot. So the knowledge of your industry and similar kind of applications and business processes is a key decision factor. You also want to check their flexibility